a great bout between the two fencers from Elite Fencing Indonesia. Thank you for joining us. Come on and have a seat, take a break. Looks like it was a lot of work.
Hopefully we have to try. We can also try that a little bit,
we're dressed for it,
certainly.
Yes. So, let's get started with the discussion.
Yes.
We do have with us Elite Fencing Indonesia. Thank you guys for all being here today.
Thank you. And also we have right here our Elite Fencing Indonesia founder Aisha Elizabeth, and also member Widyasari Ayu Wibowo, and junior athletes Ataya Pahlevi and Kaden Nusantoro Liu. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for putting on that wonderful performance.
It is. We were so excited. Never seen that live, by the way. I watched that maybe in some sporting events or Olympics, but never seen that. It seems that it's not as easy as it looks. So that's why, right?
Right.
Hence, that's why we want to have a discussion, especially with you, Maisha, because you are the founder of Elite Fencing Indonesia. You're also an athlete.
Yes.
You were the Indonesian contingent for the ASEAN Games 2018 and Thailand Open 2018.
Yes.
All right. So, how has it been so far, and why did you finally, come about with Elite Fencing Indonesia?
So it's with my fencing journey as an athlete. Joining the World Training Camp, winning the medal in the national and international competition is encouraged me to focus develop fencing in any age, any level, and for the ordinary people in Indonesia. With that, I hope also everyone can get the opportunity to learn fencing with this community.
True. Because it's not like the most well-known sport, because like it's not something that kids know about. You have to tell them what it is.
Yes.
So when did you yourself start fencing?
I started fencing when I was 14 years old.
14. So a bit of like in your teens already, right? Okay.
Why were you interested in fencing, by the way?
I born with the sport family.
Okay.
So my family
plays a lot of sports in the household.
Try a lot of sports. So fencing is it's me.
You started at 14 and you've managed to accomplish so much. Is that the ideal age to learn fencing, or can you teach kids that are younger?
There's no ideal age, but the kids start from 5 years old.
Really?
Yes, they can start. The kids already understand the instruction of the coach. They can learn fencing. Even for the adult person, 20 years old, they can start to learn fencing.
What about us, like 30, 50?
Yes, you can.
Let's not bring up age now.
I also am very interested to know the origin of the sport. Again, because this is very uncommon, especially right here in Indonesia. And how has it come about right here in our country? There's a lot. Is it more people come in and more aware of fencing?
Yes, fencing originally from France. Fencing used to in the war before in the
like duels.
Yes.
Duels.
Okay, so this is something that an age-old tradition that perhaps can be continued by the newer generation. So let's address Ataya and Kaden right now. When did you guys start getting interested in fencing, and how? Like, who introduced you to it?
Okay, so I started when I was 13 years old.
13,
and it's actually my best friend who introduced it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, back in middle school.
Okay.
She was a fan of Three Musketeer.
Yes.
And she had the idea of, I want to have a Three Musketeer with my friends, and she asked me, one of the person who
You're the second musketeer.
Yeah.
And Kaden is the third? How about you, Kaden? When did you start?
I started when I was 13 years old also, but it was back in the pandemic. So I used to do soccer before. Yeah, I couldn't do soccer anymore. So I had to find another sport because I always wanted to keep fit. And I just came across fencing, and it seemed like a really fun sport. So I just got into it,
What a switch from, soccer or football to fencing. That is something that is very different.
And back in the COVID days, it's a lot safer too, because you got that distance.
You have that mask. You have everything on.
By the way, you guys are still a little bit out of breath.
Yes.
I've known this about fencing as well. It may look like the movements are short and they're not very exerting.
Right.
But whenever you see them, once they're done, they're completely
drenched.
How draining is this from a physical standpoint for exercise?
For me, I think it's almost like cardio.
Really?
Because you need a very fast step and everything.
Okay, so you need to react quickly, and it keeps you,
And the mask also, it's pretty hot.
And also the suit.
The suit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's pretty
weight.
thick.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I also want to ask Widya here, you know, when members, especially for the youths or the younger ones, wanted to start practicing fencing, how was their first impression? Because I imagine 5-year-old holding the sword would be very heavy.
It would make me very nervous.
It is.
See my 5-year-old.
So, unlike the people here, I actually started fencing as a hobby. So I just started in my 20s, like late 20s, I could say.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's like an older side. But it was like the first times my imagination was like, it's a posh sport, right?
Yes, it is.
Like,
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, very
for
elite.
the aesthetic as well and everything. But once I get through the first sessions, it is really exhausting. To be honest, I play other sport and I still think right now it is the most exhausting sport that I've ever trained into. But then it's kind of like individual, right? Because like in fencing, whatever you have like individual competition or team, you still have to face your opponent one by one.
Yes.
Right.
It's really like a duel. But you got lots of sportsmanship and also collaborations with your teammates. So there's lots of trainings you'll get through. You'll get trained by your coach, but you also get trained by your friends because we do like a bouting. We train for bouting. We train for like tactic with other friends. So it's really collaborative and really a safe environment for us to be trained.
Is
You
it
can help
hard
each
to?
other grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get.
How many? Like, there's a lot of skills, I suppose. Even like from holding the. I'm calling it the sword as of right now.
It is
calling it the
Go ahead.
sword. Yes.
Yeah.
From the standpoint, and then there's also I heard you say ale and whatnot. I guess that's like for you to
That's
start
the cue.
beginning. That's the
the
cue.
Yeah.
So and I think there's also somewhat of a ritual before you're doing all of this. So how long did you learn all of that until you can start practicing?
For the practice itself, we do like a weekly, and it's like really slow, phase by phase.
Like introductions.
Introductions by
Yes.
introductions. The first is also the introduction for the weapons and the attire, and then we learn how to properly stand the form because you'll see it's not like facing just standing
Correct.
and hold
Yes.
the weapon. There's like special technique that you need to know before you start the game. So I think maybe like you learned it around like 3 or 4 sessions first to just introductions of the environments and also how you know the cue when you start the bout, when you stop the bout, and how you count for the score. And after that, the most exhausting part is the leg workout, the footwork.
Okay.
So apart from the tactical, we also learn there is how we can parry the weapons and how we can make a push or attack. The hardest one is to do the footwork.
Okay.
So like you got to score all the time, you got to do lunges all the time. But after that, I think
Lower body workout.
yeah, lower body workout. But after that, I think you'll be properly know how to like make a beautiful movement, like the leg movements properly because you do lots of practice.
We can see that you're very passionate about this.
By the way, much like
Very
many other
honest.
sports, it is based on a foundation of having
Yes.
strong
Yes.
core, having
Right.
strong legs. What would you say, Mbaishe, is the most challenging part for those picking up the sport? Is it the preparation in order for you to get used to all the equipment and the stances? Or is it the physically demanding training part? Or what part is it that beginners usually find most challenging?
As a beginner, they have a beginner for focus and get fit, and also we have a beginner for become an athlete.
Okay.
So,
Okay. There's
both
two
of
different
them,
types. It
yes.
depends what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but all of that, we need to have a basic footwork, good basic footwork.
Okay.
Start with that, and after the coach will leading you for the technique and tactical lesson.
Okay. So this is a growing sport.
It is.
And especially since we see young folks picking it up very
Okay.
quickly.
Yes.
What do you think about the future of fencing in Indonesia? You yourself have plenty of personal accomplishments for our country, but do you see the sport growing within the country, and how big is our potential?
Fencing it's not a popular sport in Indonesia, and I hope in the future fencing everyone can try fencing, and for the government in the sport and fencing the Indonesian athlete can be a champion in SEA Games, Asian Games, and Olympic.
Dominating for fencing. Well, Ataya and Kaden, when you're, how do you see these sports, especially you from the younger generation? When you tell your friends that I'm doing fencing, what was their response? Like fencing, or they're like, oh, okay, I'm quite curious and interested also to join you guys.
Well, now I see that it's an uprising sport and people start to know fencing. So it's not like back then when I told them I play fencing and they're like, what is fencing?
Right.
Now they know. And I hope that I can see more athletes in the future playing in the international competitions.
That's good.
All right. So since we're dressed for the occasion,
We are.
I think we're going to ask you guys to show us, because there's a lot of intricacies and rules about this. Like, I don't even understand the scoring system.
Right.
So perhaps we can shift this conversation over there.
Yes, let's
And you
go.
and I can have a bout. I have a glove.
Why not, Tama?
Am I supposed to slap her face with this glove?
Wow.
Challenge her to a duel?
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's head over here. So this we noticed
and
was
left.
the scoring system. So whenever either Caden or Ataya scored,
Yes, but with this, we have
So
to
it's
use
censored.
we have body wire.
yes, there would be sensors, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so basically this would be a scoring system. Green
Yes.
or red means like
so.
one for
Right,
each of them.
yes.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna do it without the scoring system because, well, to be honest, we're very beginners at this, so we're just gonna learn. So we're gonna.
This is the first time ever, by the way. Is there? Am I holding this right?
Yes,
Like
you hold
this.
like a pistol.
Hold this.
Okay,
The
like
gun.
this.
Yes.
So your thumb
Yep,
will be
like
here.
this.
And your,
Like this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here.
Yes.
That
yeah.
is
Oh,
along
gotcha.
directly
against
on
the
your
base of my
palms.
thumb.
Yes.
So this is interesting, by the way. The
It's
first thing
quite
is
heavy, by the
this is
way.
not a straight
It is
handle
800
like.
grams, almost
800
1
grams.
kilo.
I don't know if you guys can get a close-up shot. This is not like a handle. I thought it would just be like a knife handle, for
Yeah.
example. But this is actually, there's a 3 prongs here
Yes.
that you need to wrap your head around. There
It's
you
like
go.
a pistol, like
Yeah.
a pistol.
It's
So
just-
gives you a nice solid
This looks
grip.
like a sword back in the. I mean, like decades ago.
A musket.
Okay.
So again, there's a protection here. So obviously
Yes.
this isn't pointed.
This is how you make a point. You
Okay.
have to push it.
Oh,
Push
it's
it
a
through.
button.
Yeah, it's a
Very
button.
How
cool.
hard are you supposed to attack your opponent?
What-
As
Not
hard
that I
as-
have a
no,
grudge on
not
Paul.
really that hard actually, because this is quite sensitive. So like
Oh.
one touch like this, you already make a point.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Yeah, but
Now-
you all have to make sure that it's actually like pushing through your opponent's.
Okay, just enough to make the button
Yes.
go in. So
Be careful.
let's start with the most important thing, footwork. So stance.
Yes.
Let's get into our
Stance.
stance. What
Yes,
should our stance be?
stay in your side, standing in your side, and make your feet letter L.
Okay,
So
L.
you are the right, so the left side.
This side?
Left side, yes.
Okay. So
And
my left
make
foot.
make for the letter L, letter L,
Okay, okay.
Roll,
and open. Bring your right leg front
shoulder
and
width.
lower your body.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lower.
We
Yeah.
call this
Like a squat.
Yes.
ready
like a squat.
position.
Okay.
Ready.
So they have a simple thing: is a step forward and step backward. Just for the step forward, just bring your right leg front, and yes, and continue with your left leg.
Oh, okay.
But need to remember the distance between your right and left must to be same
The
with
same when you have your
yes.
stance.
Oh,
Same
okay.
width.
Oh.
Shoulder width.
Okay.
Okay.
And
For
A little bit like boxing, right? Like where you
Yeah.
want to just have
Yes.
one foot forward and you want to shift your leg. You don't want to cross. Okay. Got it.
and
Okay.
for hitting the target, just straight your arm.
Straight.
Yes.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I was just checking.
Do you have
I was
insurance,
checking to
by
see
the
if
way,
you're
Paul?
ready.
Do you have
I
insurance?
have not said Ale yet. Okay, there you go. Okay, so what are the targets here? Are we talking
Yes.
about the main part of the body?
We in fencing we have a 3 weapons. So what we have now is épée. We call épée. So all the body from head to toe is the target. So you can hit all, and you get point. And also with this weapon, when you hit each other in the same times, you will get the
both
Yes.
points.
Okay, so there will be no point if we hit at the same time simultaneously.
No,
You
you
both
will
get
You
get
both
the
get
point.
points. Oh,
Yes.
you can both score points.
F1.
Yes,
together.
for épée only.
Okay.
For épée only.
Okay.
For others.
Okay.
Now this, obviously we
This is
can't,
the basic one, I
we can't get
suppose.
into strategy because
Not
there's
really,
a
it's
lot of
just
offense
different.
that's involved, but most importantly, we're just going to try to strike our targets, okay?
Are we gonna wear a mask?
Since we don't have
Yes,
a mask,
we have.
we do have a mask.
should.
Hello.
So
All right.
it's
I'm not gonna have your sword in front of my face. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I want to look
help
like
you.
how Ataya
Would you
did
be able to
it,
help me
'cause
put this
Ataya
on?
did it really well. Oh,
it's too hard.
yeah.
Tapi boy.
So it's a bit.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
I'm ready.
Well,
Okay, make sure it
Are you
doesn't.
ready? Who says on guard?
you,
Who has to be
I will
the referee?
Like,
Usually the
on guard,
referee.
Ale?
Or, okay, Aya will do it.
Go ahead.
You have to make a touch.
Deep. You hit me at the same time.
Yes.
I mean, beeping noise.
That is very hard. Because when I saw Ataya and Kaden, it seems that it's very easy, but it's very hard to concentrate where the pointer of your sword is going to go.
Now, let's try one more time.
Okay, ready? How do you, our stanza like this?
Yes.
Okay.
On guard, break, ali. Nice.
Oh, she got me. She got me. All right, good job, you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, that was fun. Thank you guys so much for coming by, for sharing with us the beginner.
Yeah, I'm going to put my mask on. It's okay, yes.
Right. But thank you guys again so much, Elite Fencing Indonesia. Can we find out more? Do you
Thank
guys
you,
have Instagram?
Yes, sure. It's Elite Fencing on Instagram.
There you go, guys. This is definitely a sport you should try at least once. Take it from me and Caroline. Anyway, I'm running out of breath.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. We've got a recap from the world of sports when we return. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We can do a little bit more.
I don't have my mask